Alright folks, so we are live. So I'm going to be sharing the link to the Telegram group and the Discord group and on Twitter, and we should get started. Okay. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about dumpster diving. Now, I think I was watching this show on YouTube recently about a guy who was, he's a freegan, all right, and he basically just goes into, I mean, not necessarily into the dumpster, but he will pick up and find food that has been, food has been wasted, right? That has been wasted. It was unsold. And he was just basically, just hoarding, not hoarding it, but he was just eating the food that was available there because he believes strongly in not overpaying for certain things. So he was saying that, actually when you go to the bakery or to the supermarket and whatnot, right, you can practically find the exact same thing at the end of the day. Yes, although it may not seem fresh, but it's definitely edible. So it's more of like a perception at the moment. He was very concerned about money, right? He was very concerned about not having enough, that was his stand. Now, what's the link about today? I think a large part of the cryptocurrencies are already at a huge discount, and they have been dumped. They've been dumped from the all-time high, and because of the bubble that we just experienced, right? Yeah, they are very close to their, some of them are very close to their ICO prices. Some are even below their ICO prices. But however, the stronger projects are still, of course, way above their ICO price. So you're looking at anywhere from maybe 10x to 20x. But compared to the high that we experienced back in November leading up to January, yeah, it's really quite cheap as per se. Now take note, this video is not about not providing you any kind of financial advice. It is just my personal opinion. But take note that you may be able to find these undervalued cryptocurrencies because no one is really looking at the altcoin space as much, right? A large part of us, we're all still back holding. We obviously bought at various price points, especially when the cryptocurrencies corrected. So what do we do now? Do we have the courage to average down at the current lows, or do we just hope that we are going to see a really strong bull run? I personally don't feel that we're going to have a very strong bull run. The best way was to actually dollar cost average in and not really go all in at the beginning, right? So it's always very hard. It's always easier to say on hindsight, because at that time, I still remember there was a lot of talk about Bitcoin going to 50,000, and that is why you have all the current articles and stories of people who have over leveraged and they bought into the cryptocurrencies at BTC at 17,000 and buying various altcoins at the all-time highs because the whole euphoria hit. Right now, there's practically very little euphoria. Okay, and that is why I want to do this video, because why I talk about dumpster diving is because that is something that no one who earns a proper income will actually go and look for food in a dumpster. Okay, nobody, right? Because it's firstly human nature that, hey, why should I eat out of a dumpster when I'm making an income? I can buy food from the store or whatever. But that may be a bit extreme. I'm not asking you guys to start go and eat food from the rubbish can or something like that. But I'm just saying that there are definitely undervalued stuff on the market at the moment. So right now I'm just gonna go to this site called ICO. Give me a second. This site called ICO stats. Okay. And ICO drops, and then I'm going to show you various cryptocurrencies that are kind of not too crazy in terms of ROI, and perhaps you can kind of formulate your own sheet of cryptocurrencies that you could potentially own maybe now leading up to a potential bull run either end of the year or next year, right? It's better to showcase all these kind of things now, or my personal thoughts right now, rather than, or when the bull run comes, then like, no one can really say that you learned anything. So currently now I'm actually looking through the list of cryptocurrencies. Obviously I have a certain set of criterias. Perhaps I would say that certain projects have to be past 1 year, okay? And also they have to have active community management or developments, and perhaps they may not be more than 10x. Maybe that's my perimeters. You can set your own set of perimeters, but yeah, just take note. So for example, there are projects like Icon that are now trading basically below 10x. You have projects like I've heard of IOST before a long time ago, that is basically below 5x, imagine. Okay, so if you look at this, right, it has the USD ROI, the Ethereum ROI, and the BTC ROI. So pretty straightforward. Ontology has been killing it. Ontology was like one of our recommendations in the private group. Personally, I didn't invest, but although it was part of our private group, we still gave it as a so-called a setup or a trading setup, because we felt that the volume was good, and you know, we kind of did cover this Ontology, I think 5 under 5. So yeah, its currently market price is $2.50. The ICO price is 20 cents, you know. So you have Zilliqa that is also focused on fast TPS. This came down from, it is actually quite attractive if you look at it. The ICO price is not even 1 cent, can you imagine? It was a 0.0038 cents, and then now it's at 4.3 cents. So you have 0x that has not even done 20x. I mean, obviously back at the high, a lot of things were astronomical. So this is kind of like how I'm seeing the space right now. There is this reset, which I consider a great opportunity. And if people don't capitalize on this, right, then I hope that you don't complain when the whole market starts to really rally without you, and then you start buying at a premium. Yes, people may be saying, and a lot of VCs have been, I mean, there's a VC, I think his name was Pompolino or something like that, right? So he was saying that Bitcoin could potentially drop to 3,000 this year before going back up to the 20,000 to 50,000 levels when it reaches 2022 and 2023. Honestly, let's be very realistic. If you give such a large time horizon, right, no one will actually be really looking at the space because it's just too long, right? There's a liquidity issue where people are putting in their money on a monthly basis to, you know, very rarely people put in quarterly. People are putting in their money into crypto every week to every month, or maybe every fortnight. So there is still that level of anticipation that, you know, you want your cryptocurrency to do well, or whatever you put in at the moment will have some kind of movement. So here's a few things that I want to let you guys take note of. Okay, right now the market cap is 215 billion. All right, I think it did go down to a low of about 190 billion, and then after that it rallied up. So safe to say that right now 200 billion seems to be the current support for the market cap. Also, if we notice Bitcoin prices, okay, if we look at the Bitcoin price charts, right? So if we look at Bitcoin price charts, if we look at Bitcoin price, wait, give me a second, guys. So if we look at Bitcoin price charts, at the moment we are no longer at the 5,000, 6,000, 5,000. By the way, this is Bitstamp. We are no longer at the 5,008 to 6,000 range. Okay, we are past that. So it was previously at the 6,200 to 6,200 with the wicks hitting around 6,200. Then after that, now you're seeing a higher high of 6,005. But of course, that being said, could it just suddenly do one of these deep dives again? Nobody knows, right? So let's assume that it does dive down, and if it goes at least to around the, okay, so right now the near-term support, this is the 4-hour candle. If you see that the near-term support is 6,600, that's a good sign, okay? And you even if it drops to 6,500, okay, it's still kind of okay. As long as it doesn't just correct drastically back down to the 6,000 range, we should see our altcoins gradually move upwards. I think even as an altcoin investor at the moment, you are definitely agreeing that your portfolio is kind of slowly inching up. Look, it doesn't compensate for the 70-80% drop. Okay, it doesn't. But at least you're seeing that there is some confidence in the market and that the liquidity is starting to move to the altcoins. It's the same amount of liquidity, unfortunately. If you look at the past 2 days, the 24-hour volume coming in is quite pathetic. It's only about 2 billion. So it was 215 billion. It went up to 217 billion. Nothing to shout about. But my question, my statement to you is, do you want to buy only when no one is looking and no one knows that it's a deep discount, because they have no idea, right? Because everyone is so discouraged, everyone is just so frustrated that their portfolio is like that. They've put it aside. Some have realized their losses. They are saying that this whole space is a scam, and they are right to say that this whole space is a scam. You know why? Because a large part of all the ICOs that people have been investing in have been utilizing their funds not for the main intention of development and creating a product, but more of just satisfying themselves. They've been buying houses, they've been buying private jets or whatever, land or football clubs and shit like that. They have not been focusing on what they raised their money for. And it is sad because investors will definitely not be too happy about that, right? In fact, imagine if you see this going on, you know that you've clearly been duped, right? And it happens. This kind of new space, unregulated, zero accountability, the tokens have no equity, no link to equity whatsoever of the company. You would expect that because, you know, ICOs can change their mandate as and when they want. They call it the SAFT, right? They can change the SAFT as and when they want because you are willingly investing into this project, right? And you don't expect a return, right? Only the VCs are the ones that have the most control, and the VCs are also another kind of animal, right? They will have the allocation, and then they potentially mark it up to a 20 to 30% premium to the poolers who have access to the retail investors like you and me. But that being said, do you think that is legal? It's not legal. But the thing is, who is really regulating this space? Nobody. See, right now when people make money, no one is going to complain. But the moment just one very big ICO goes down, I promise you the class action lawsuits are all going to fly all over the place, and that is when this space will start to get really regulated hard. Of course, everybody is saying, oh, Bitcoin ETF. No one is giving a shit about the Bitcoin ETF, to be honest. You see, if let's say people gave a shit about the Bitcoin ETF, it would have tanked drastically. It would have been $4,000 to $4,000 right now. Imagine you had 3 rejections in the past, in the single day, right? So you're clearly seeing that the market is like, whatever, you know, like it's already discounted already. And the market in fact went up. So if you had decided to short at about 6,600 or 6,005, you would be not in the money already. So you see how strange the market is. So I'd rather just, you know, get your attention to the projects that are already listed, right? ICOs are not having the balls to come out at the moment. China has already locked down in terms of any kind of crypto advertising activity. That means you want to have a cryptocurrency conference at a hotel. You want to have it on social media. No way. So that's already down, right? I am sure that there are projects that are still trying to run their existing, or they're delaying listing their tokens or whatever. But you know what? Honestly, when the whole space is just dried up of liquidity and confidence, right now is the time to really start really digging through the mud and finding the best projects that are available out there. That's what you got to do, because making money shouldn't be easy, guys. Trust me, I think everybody can, especially if you're someone who came in last year March. You would find it so easy, like whatever money that you put into the space, you're easily making 5x or 10x a few weeks to a few months later. But right now, when everything is so difficult, you don't hear shit about anybody. Like literally everybody is just trying to go to Bitmex and do some kind of long or shorting with leverage and all that shit, and Arthur Hayes is just laughing to the bank. You short, he can easily go long and liquidate your position. You go long, he can easily go short and liquidate your position. You maintain, even if you maintain a certain position, he's also earning, because every 8 hours you have to have a funding. So we are in a situation where, why are we being the morons in the space when we can clearly be the leaders? Why are we not being smart investors? Why are we just succumbing to whatever that is available out there? Don't be a fucking sheep, guys. I think this channel has been around long enough, and I hope that those who have been following have been actually understanding why we are always looking at projects that have activity, that have long-term value, that probably going to have revenue in the future, that have products and have revenue. Yeah, it's boring, but hey, if it saves you money, if it saves you if it saves you from having too much of a, in fact, if you were holding a token right now that has zero development, right? I mean, I don't know how you feel, right? I mean, personally, I would feel very cheated because I believed in your project. That's why I invested in it. Okay, so this goes for any project. It's not just about what CG has talked about. It's just more of what have you invested in. You need to go and start reassessing why you invested in these tokens initially, and I hope that you find a set of perimeters that you would like to have, and if it works, right, if it starts working for you, that is kind of like how you should start creating your portfolio. Now, that being said, how much do I have to start putting into this space? You see, like I said, there is no regulation in place. Literally, all these exchanges are created by businessmen that do not have to comply to any kind of SE. They don't have to comply. Unlike NYSE, you know, where they have a strict kind of guideline, they're all self-regulated at the moment. Okay, and when they're all self-regulating, they are kind of trying to figure out where do I need to be credible to the institutions, but at the same time, I keep my platform safe and secure and maybe user-friendly for retail investors. It's kind of like those who are wanting to be more credible, you can clearly see where's their direction, all right? And how transparent are they when they are asked to turn over their books? They don't have to do that. See, until now, can you safely say that any cryptocurrency has been audited transparently? Like they let you know how much developments have they been doing. Okay, developments is one thing, guys. Really, it's very tiring to just keep talking about developments, but in actual fact, where's the use case and adoption? It's definitely 3 to 4 years away. There are very, very few cryptocurrencies that really had an MVP when they raise money. So when they raise the millions to even billions of dollars, or hundreds of millions anyway, billions I think is a bit much. Only EOS is the one that probably hit 4 billion. But hundreds of millions is really a lot of money. The question right now is, when you raise all this money, right, how effective is it going to be? Are you able to manage it well, especially with the current volatility? And with that being said, right, when you raise so much money, you're actually able to tank the market because you are trying to cash out from your Ethereum or your Bitcoin, and you're actually suppressing the prices. And that's what's been happening. That's why people who believe in Bitcoin, unfortunately, cannot really be consistently hodling it, right? Because the moment you decide to buy, it can go down $500 or even $1,000. It's very stressful if you think about it, right? So right now, we are like pawns for a bigger plan. You know, we're like just being moved around the chessboard, and no one really knows what we should really do. So that being said, I think it's always just good to be cautious and always make sure you put in money that you are able to look from a long-term horizon. I'm looking at 3 to 5 years kind of time horizon. Also, the research that you have to be doing is really in-depth, guys. You cannot be listening to the people around you. You really have to start being a savvy investor. That means you start looking at stuff like, okay, am I buying this particular product? Like, let's say, for example, if a cryptocurrency project has some kind of idea, but if it's only an idea, why don't you just skip it? Wait until they actually develop their idea. Then if you see that there's actual utilization of the tokens, or the tokens form some kind of tokenomics, you know, within its own ecosystem, then you buy. You don't have to worry that oh, you know, I'm missing out, because people are saying, oh, the best time to make money is pre-sale. That means you have to get in the pre-sale and a few hours before it gets listed. I mean, what the fuck? That means you're literally not encouraging people to invest in your company. You're just wanting to exit, right? You're getting in so that you can exit and dump on other people. These kind of projects, right, are honestly supposed to burn in hell, because, or at least companies founders or teams that have this intention to dupe the market, right? They literally are the scammers that are making this space like that. But you know what? That being said, there are a lot of IPO companies or companies that are listing on the stock exchanges that are doing this shit anyway. But however, it's just more difficult. So that being said, I just sincerely hope that you guys are starting to look and not keep retracting. Start looking at the market already, start developing a plan, right? And make sure that if you are still if you're still unsure, the premium group is available for, it's available right now. You can join our CG Telegram group. It is available right now. And we are going to be closing off the group to focus on the existing members until the end of the year, because I want to give the full attention to my guys, especially when it's such a challenging market. So if you're someone who's outside looking in, you're very, very unsure about whether you should be stepping in or not, maybe the Premier Group is definitely a place for you to learn. Also, if you're someone who's just trying very hard to locate where all the news is from, CG Market Watch is also our alternative Telegram where you can just get all the free-flowing news from all around the crypto space. So with that being said, thank you so much guys for joining this live webinar. Comment below, are you looking at any particular cryptocurrencies and why? Also, what are your top 5 favorite cryptocurrencies that you have in your portfolio and why as well? All right, see you in the next stream.